Well, it's raining and I'm making some more progress here. Now you might be asking yourself, what are you doing? So what I'm doing is I'm moving the seat up because the exhaust is too close to the seat. And before I'm able to drive this at all, I've got to do that first so I don't get burned or whatever. So I'm making space for a heat shield and a roll bar that goes right behind the seat there. And how am I doing it? Well, instead of grinding off these two bars and moving the entire thing up, I'm actually taking the tray off, which I just got off after a while of grinding and banging my old professional welds. I am not only going to be moving the tray up, I'm also going to be moving it down so that this is going to be against the front face of that bar there, because the seat previously was actually kind of too high up before. But for now, I think I'm going to get a position sort of good for the seat and the tray, see how far we really want to move it up, and then probably weld it down and see if I can get the shut-off switch to still work and the positioning to be all good and everything like that. And then I can move on to things like shifter knob, gas pedal, things like that. Well, that's the basic idea. It took me a while, but I have this plate now mounted over at the bottom, like that. Bring it down about an inch and forwards a bit, and this is where the seat mounts, so it can still pivot a little bit. And I'll put I need to put a backing thing over here for that shut-off switch to contact, and also a support brace or something outside beneath here. Beneath this piece so it doesn't, fall off when you're driving or something. You know you're making progress when you've made a mess. Move the seat up quite a bit. There's a time-lapse video of that. Nothing too exciting there. But I'm trying to get this throttle cable, or actually this clutch cable, situated. I was thinking about putting it on the steering wheel so you can clutch it like this, but the cable wasn't long enough because you turn the wheel and it would stretch it out too much. And it's too short to reach the pedal. So, what I've done here is I took a little insert that comes with the, that was on the throttle cable, M6 bolt thing with a nut in there with grooves in it, and I took an M6 bolt, cut a groove in it, and welded it with a little stud onto the frame, so the cable now sits here just like this. And the other part of this is it's kind of interesting what I'm trying to do here, but I got this rod here, and this rod is going to go just like that, and it's going to have a little end on it that's going to attach to that throttle cable. So how am I going to do that? Well, it is kind of tricky getting that to work. My idea is to take a bolt, cut a slot in it, and the cable will go through the slot, and then the nut will go on top of that, and then the bullet that sticks out of there will be what pulls on it, preventing it from sliding through. And this bolt is going to be welded onto the end of here, like so. I want as little vertical offset as possible, so it's as sturdy as possible. I'm just going to weld this right on here, probably cut the head of the bolt off so I can fit an eye hook around here that will act as sort of a guide inside of there. And then once the clutch is all set, it's going to be a gas pedal, which I think I'll have to do a similar setup for that because this is the throttle cable. And as you can see, it's just a tad short. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. This I just welded on that bolt onto the end with that slot in it. Cable goes to the slot, nut goes on top, and you have a nice solid linkage here. That's never going to really fall off. I have an eye hook here, or an eye bolt, whatever you want to call it, for positioning. I might weld on a nut around here somewhere to keep it in place, but it actually doesn't move around very much, so I might not even do that. The pedal is nice and solid. You can see linkage moving plentifully. Don't mind the lightning, and it's nice and solid. I'm very very satisfied with how that turned out. So.